much, now we swallow.
The relationship between Francis Ngannou and UFC CEO Dana White has reached new lows, with White recently launching insults at Ngannou after the former UFC heavyweight champion and current PFL star criticized him. Ngannou, frustrated by White's behavior, told SiriusXM's Fight Nation that White can't stand him, adding that he thinks White needs to make peace with himself. For Ngannou, the ongoing tension feels bizarre, and he expressed confusion about White's persistent negativity. The UFC boss's disdain was clear when, during a UFC 308 post-fight press conference, White mocked Ngannou, even questioning his character. "Francis isn't a good guy, he just plays a good guy," White claimed, adding that Ngannou acts as if he doesn't understand English to come across as innocent. According to White, he's not, just not a guy I wanted to be in business with. However, this statement contradicts White's previous public attempts to re-sign Ngannou before his UFC departure. In past comments, White criticized Ngannou's exit, suggesting he left out of greed or fear of facing UFC heavyweight champion Jon Jones. White even suggested Ngannou would have made more money if he'd stayed in the UFC, a point Ngannou refuted in a CBS Sports interview, saying, "Dana's just trying to save face for the position he lost." Ngannou explained he won his freedom from the UFC nearly 2 years ago, and yet White still can't move past his exit. After leaving the UFC, Ngannou capitalized on his title and status as the lineal heavyweight champion, successfully securing high-profile boxing matches against stars like Tyson Fury. More recently, he returned to MMA, earning a decisive win over Renan Ferreira in a PFL pay-per-view fight. During Friday's interview, Ngannou also alleged that the UFC owed him money from past fights with Stipe Miocic and Cyril Gane. Ngannou remarked, "Which money is he talking about? The money he owes me." According to Ngannou, the UFC promised him back pay for those fights but never followed through. He now earns significantly more in the PFL than he ever did with the UFC. Ngannou, now financially independent, expressed confusion over why White seemed angry about his earnings. "If I'm not making as much money as I could have made in the UFC, that's my problem," Ngannou said. "Why is he so pissed about me not making that much money?" White, however, wasn't done. At Saturday's press conference, he made a vague accusation against Ngannou, referring to something Ngannou supposedly did before his first fight with Miocic in 2018. White taunted Ngannou, saying the fighter actually owes me money for his dull fight with Derek Lewis later that year, where both fighters were criticized for a lack of action. "Trust me, I don't think about Francis that much," White scoffed, claiming the PFL regrets signing Ngannou because of low pay-per-view and ticket sales. The sour relationship between Ngannou and White makes the long-desired fight between Ngannou and Jon Jones increasingly unlikely. A UFC PFL co-promotion would be necessary to set up the fight, but White's hostility has made this challenging. Ngannou expressed that he's ready to fight Jones, and has been for years. "The only guy standing in the way of that fight is Dana White," Ngannou said. "I want the Jon Jones fight. I'm down for it, and Jones is down for it." As the rift between Ngannou and White deepens, fans hoping to see the epic clash between Ngannou and Jones might have to wait until both fighters can navigate around the growing conflict with the UFC CEO.